Hello and welcome to
Hey, we like your pod. Much better than the game that's on right now.
Oh, so much better.
It was Snooze Fest. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Well, we like your pod and we're going to tell you why. Hello, it's Dawn here with my trusted partner, Matt Pickett, and our very special guest this week, Jimmy Christensen. Hey,
Awesome.
Jimmy, how you
Hey,
doing?
hey.
How was your week? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. I was super
Sure.
pumped for this.
Cool.
Week's been pretty good. I can't complain. Just working and hanging out with the family. You know, just living the easy life. That's my goal. Just
So
make it
nice.
as easy as possible.
Awesome. Good. It's a good week over here in Cincinnati. We've kind of settled into the regular sort of feeling of the academic advising season of my job. So things feel like kind of like predictable and comforting in that way. And just recovering from the surgery from last week, which is going all right, as good as can be expected. So things are good here. How about you, Dawn? How are you doing?
I'm okay. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been a little sick. Got some antibiotics on board. So kind of bummed because I started a core abs challenge on Monday. And I got through like maybe about 75% of it. And then I was just like laying on the ground. This isn't right. I don't feel right. And then so Tuesday I woke up and I was super sore from the from the exercises. And then I was like, I don't feel right. So by Wednesday, I'm like, okay, this has gone on too long. I'm going to the doctor.
Oh, no.
So I can't do my challenge. I probably have to start Monday, but I won't be in the running for the prize, but that's okay. The most important thing. The prize is you and a guest, whoever wins and a guest are going to go with the fitness trainer to Arizona to learn basically how to drag race and get certified.
That is awesome.
It's awesome. She's
That's
great.
amazing.
She's really great, but she'll have more challenges I can join and actually participate in the I have always wanted to race. I don't know why. But that's not why I would have done the challenge. I was going to sign up for the challenge and then I saw that she, that part of it too. And I was like, oh, this is for me. This is for me.
Dawn, you've got the need for speed. I love it.
I know. I don't know what it is. My dad always drove pretty fast. My dad used to drive race cars before he met my mother too. And maybe that's it. Not whatever it was back in the day. We've got some really cool I'll have to get them out, show you. I'll put them on Twitter. They're really fun. They're really fun.
That's cool.
So
we
yeah,
have an important question here from Erin, who's watching us actually in the comments. She said, "Is Jimmy in a crop top?" I would guess, yeah.
Yes,
That was-
I am.
Oh, there we go. There's the crop top.
No
Awesome.
surprise.
I had, I saw in some of the stuff coming up, crop tops are being mentioned. I was like, well, I got to wear one then. If I don't wear one, it's not fitting the brand.
Well, it's going to be coming up in your profile questions. Sherry says she wants to go racing. Well, I do get you bring a partner if I win, but at the rate I'm going, I've actually stayed awake today. That's for the first day in like 3 days. I wasn't asleep all day.
Well, that's
So
just
yay, good to hear from you guys. All right, so let's get rolling because this is so important. We need to get to know our guest, Jimmy Christensen. And one of the things we start with, Jimmy, is your Twitter.
Yes. Yep.
So I've got some questions about your Twitter, but let's read it first. Jimmy Christensen at Jimmy_CO8.
Yes.
Husband and dad of 2. Co-host of Lombardi's Bar, which is so fun, and that's a Game on Wisconsin show. Co-host on Brand Off Topic, which I still have yet to catch up with, but it sounds like a blast from Matt's comments.
It's nonsense. It's pure nonsense.
Yes.
I think is the only way you can describe it.
I just said glorious. It's glorious, pure nonsense.
Glorious pure nonsense. Okay, so of course the first question is the most important. where do you get your rad crop tops?
Yeah, so this I can't really take credit for the crop tops. My the only reason I started wearing them is one of my teammates at my MMA gym in Milwaukee. Before his fights, he'd always come out in tie-dye crop tops. And so we started wearing them like to the fights to support him. This is from Primal. They actually made the crop tops for us to wear to his fight. So
Oh, okay.
like, well, might as well just roll with it. Get some Packer ones, get some fight ones, see how it goes.
And many of your
So,
crop tops you've actually cut, you've made basically, right?
Yeah. Most of them I just cut. Usually older shirts that I just go to Goodwill and get a Packer shirt and cut it. Those are usually the way I go.
In fact, Don, I don't know if you know, but I was there for the creation of one of his crop tops one time when they did the show in town here.
yeah.
He had forgotten to bring scissors, so Todd had contacted me and said, "Can you bring some scissors?" Which is like, oh yeah, sure, that's random, but sure.
Yeah, I forgot the most important part to make a crop top was how to cut it, but you made it work. You were a key part of that crop top development.
I remember seeing the live from there, and I think that was my first exposure to your crop top. That's when I first know.
I'm sorry to do that to you. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I think I said, is he wearing a crop top?
Yes,
I was.
Ah, fun. That's awesome. Okay. So the other thing is CO2. I know what CO2 is. What is CO8?
Yeah. So that one, I made my Twitter. It was either in high school or college. Jimmy Christensen was too long, too many characters. And then I just Jimmy _C wasn't available. And my favorite NBA player of all time was J.R. Smith, or still is J.R. Doesn't play anymore. So he's still my favorite player all time. 08 was just his number on the Knicks at the time. So I just threw it on there to differentiate a little bit.
Okay. I thought it was like some kind of science, like
oh no, I don't
carbon dioxide or something.
Science. Yeah. The oxide.
Right. The CO2. Okay. It's catchy, and that's how we're going to find you. If we are not following you, we know now. We have to look for CO2. CO8. I'm going to keep saying CO2.
That's fine. I might change it now to CO2, honestly. It sounds way better.
Well, it's because, like, for me, Don, like the phrase Jimmy _C08 like is like burned into my mind from having heard so many podcasts that Jimmy's on, that like for me it's like I can type without thinking about like what's Jimmy's handle, obviously the same for like Todd and Aaron, because I have to type theirs. I choose to type their handles out frequently, so
we appreciate it.
Yeah, man,
your dedication to that scoring system. I'm gonna figure out a way to rig it, and I'm gonna start catching up to Todd. But it's
that's the thing is, there is no rigging it. It's an impregnable, impervious system, because it's just me, telling you what you guys did, not assessing per se. It's like giving grades out in school,
I'm gonna start playing different instruments until you're just impressed. I'm gonna do a new instrument every week just to get myself brownie points.
Interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
maybe. So okay, well, so this is you're talking about on brand off topic. So if somebody who doesn't know anything about on brand off topic wanted to know what it's about, could you tell us briefly what people would get by listening or watching brand off topic?
So Erin's changing up the tagline. I see her in the comments. She's changing it up now. So we have some sports talk, and then a lot of kind of nonsense with it. Like we'll do good news, bad news of the week. I'll find a random weird news story. We'll spin it to either be a good news story or a bad news story. We'll do offensive, defensive players of the week. And then we do just a random segment at the end, which is honestly probably my favorite part, because it's different every week and it's just somewhat sports related. Like last week we did, since the Browns changed their logo on the field to that elf, we just did we went through like each team and said what their new logo on the middle of the field should be. So it's a sports-ish. Yeah. Like she put in there, it's everything sports-ish and then some.
Exactly.
All right. So what do you think of that elf, by the way?
you know?
Oh, I'm getting hers late.
It's a little creepy. Yeah, they had such an easy way to just put the dog there. Everyone loves dogs.
Yeah.
Everyone hates the Browns right now. That could be an easy way to gain some people to be like, oh, you did something right.
Yeah,
like here's a cute little dog. Yeah.
Good thought. Good thought. Okay, I agree with Aaron. The elf is terrifying. I'm very afraid of leprechauns. I hate Halloween. Anything like that makes me kind of crazy. It's so I'm glad I'm not alone. I thought the elf was very odd too. I didn't understand it at all, like where it even came from. And I don't want to know. I don't want to.
Yeah. Don't tell me that origin story. I don't want that.
That's not an invitation. Okay. So, and then you're also co-host of Lombardi's Bar. So you're a busy dude.
Yeah. I need to fill my time with things, or I'll either just be incredibly lazy or I'll just get myself in trouble, is usually how my wife likes to describe it. So Lombardi's Bar every Wednesday at 7 Central Time with Todd and Dan, which is really fun. Obviously, like being Packer fans, it's like I love doing that show too, just because I do get to focus on only the Packers. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. We've got some cool guests on there throughout the time. Somehow they agree to talk to us three buffoons, but it's been fun. I love doing it.
I mean, the interview you guys had with Romeo Dobbs was it was so good. Like, up there with some of the best interviews I've seen of any sports person in the last year. And I mean, like any sports person, any interview, it was that good. Yeah, I was so impressed with that. Because not just because he was a good interview, but also the questions you guys were you're asking him and the answers he was giving and how that took the conversation. Like, dude, that was a high watermark. That was awesome.
I appreciate that. He was awesome. We got on the interview was supposed to be, we pre-recorded that one, so it's supposed to be at 4:00. And I got on, I was obviously nervous just because he hasn't done a lot of interviews. And so I was nervous for that when I came on, make sure everything's set up. And I'm sitting there at like 3:45 and he popped on. Like usually when people come on, they'll come on like a minute before it starts, leave the second it's over. He got on 15 minutes early, was just talking to us about just like his transition over to Green Bay. Like he was super cool. He spent almost like an hour with us, which I was like, dude, you are a saint, because I don't even want to spend an hour with Todd and I have to. So.
He seems really, really nice and super humble and kind. He seems like a very kind person.
Yeah. It's crazy how young he is. Just the way he talks and carries himself at such like 22 years old. That's insane.
Right.
In a good way. In a good way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Poised and kind. And yeah. So that's an impressive collection of jerseys behind you. Are those all like, how many years worth of jerseys do you have back there? You probably have more than those, don't you?
Yeah. Todd put me on a jersey ban, but I did not follow because I got Dobbs. And I was at a flea market. Like I moved up to kind of middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and we went to a flea market and they had a Quay Walker one for like $40. And I was like, obviously going to buy that.
Wow.
And then the other ones are just, so I got Jamal when we did the Jamal Williams show, Chris Barnes after we interviewed him. I won Devontae Adams one. And then my non-pack when I got a Marshawn Lynch one to my left, just because I'm a big, I waited till he went to the Raiders. I was always debating getting one on the Bills. I refused to get a Seahawks one. But once Marshawn went to the Raiders, I had to get one of those. I love Marshawn.
Yeah, for some reason, him being on the Raiders, that does feel like, okay, now it can be kind of out about my love for him, because I felt the same way,
Yeah, I know. It was tough. Like, as Packer fans, we just don't like the Seahawks. And and as much as I love Marshawn Lynch, even I know a lot of people in like media and stuff did not like his press conferences where he just was like, I'm here so I don't get fined. But I thought it was great because that's like truly who he was. Like, he doesn't want to talk to the media. So he's going there and he's being honest with you. Like, hey guys, I don't want to talk to you. I'm just here so they don't take my money anymore.
Well, here in Southern California, the Raiders are kind of like the Seahawks or the Vikings are to you guys in the Midwest. So
really,
so when you said, well, this is the Raiders, now we can like him, it's like,
I'm so sorry. No. I take it back. Next time,
if
I'm on a show again with you guys, I will take that down. just for you.
It's okay. No, stop. I'm not. It's fine. It's fine. I actually like them a little better than when they were in Oakland. At least they're in Las Vegas now. Yeah, they're kind of like, the Vikings in a way, kind of rowdy and
Yeah.
They've got a reputation for rowdiness for sure. It's funny because when speaking of the Seahawks for a second, disdain for the Seahawks, I want your guys' take on this. When Russell Wilson left for the Broncos and the Broncos played the Seahawks earlier this season, I found myself actually rooting for the Seahawks, and I realized it wasn't that I hated the Seahawks, it was that I hated Russell Wilson so much.
Yeah.
So like where do you both land on that? Is it more like, no, we hate the Seahawks, or it's Russell Wilson, or somewhere in between, or what?
Well, I can tell you, I respect Pete Carroll as a coach. I
Sure.
can't stand. I love it when he doesn't chew the gum. That really makes me crazy. But I haven't developed the Seahawks hate. I know that came a lot of it from a game. I probably wasn't paying as much attention to football back then. When was it a Hail Mary or whatever? It was a catch. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fail Mary game, right?
The Fail Mary. Yeah. Is that when you started hating them?
I mean, for me, it was the 2014 NFC Championship game for sure, because it was such a traumatic experience,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one of the ones now that I even, whenever anyone brings it up, I'm like, oh my gosh, that still hurts.
It still hurts. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think part of it is I was rooting for them week 1 to beat the Broncos. Even now, like, I think this is the story of Geno Smith, which is just really cool, of like, was drafted to be a starter, backup, and now he's having a really good season, which makes me like want to root for him. And the old regime that stole that win from the Packers, and yeah, they're all out of there. So it's just, besides Pete Carroll, but I think it's more impressive now that he's still able to do this, like, without those players that he's had. So
yeah, it says a lot about him. I think it makes me respect him even more.
Yeah.
And it's true. I think the Geno Smith story is really interesting too, and you want to root for him. Although I've got in a superlative in my back pocket for in the future, maybe an off-season one about him. One of the fraternizing with the enemies kind of superlative. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he did some pretty nasty stuff to another player when they were rookies.
Really?
Well, stay tuned, because it's not tonight, but it's coming soon. Fraternizing with the enemy. Yeah, he's going to be one of my features. Yeah, but I was kind of, but when what's his name hurt his thumb last year and made such a big ordeal out of his physical therapy for his thumb.
Yeah.
Oh,
19 hours a day.
Oh, you both have to do it anyway. Geno Smith was really doing well. I mentioned it, I think, on the show, that he looked really good last year too. He really did step up, and I think he'll do just fine. But I do think, from a personal standpoint, he might have some interesting character issues, but maybe he's grown out of those. Who knows?
Yeah, because he was the one that when he was on the Jets, he got punched, right? And like by a teammate. Yeah, that was probably then. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Like he probably deserved it kind of situation, or
kinda, yeah. Which you hate to say that, but
right.
And it wasn't. They say it was a sucker punch and all that, and it wasn't. It wasn't. But at least that wasn't true, because that would have been probably disturbing. And then it's also really sad what happened to that player. Not from that, but yeah, there's a whole like soap opera about that whole thing. So it's kind of interesting. So he has to prove himself to me, but yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him to do well. It's his time. It's his time.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, one of the other questions that we like to ask, and I don't think I have it here in our script, so this is the surprise.
Oh, perfect. I love surprises.
Especially because you do so much with content creation and with Game On Wisconsin, Lombardi's Bar, On Brand, Off Topic, Pack a Day podcast. You're a guest on that quite often. I remember listening to you.
Back on the Sunday, for real, right? Like you're a stable.
Oh, you're back
Sunday
on Sundays?
Member. Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us how those in your family, your wife, your family members, anybody that's around you help support you doing what you do in the Packers community.
Yeah, I think the first is my wife lets me do it because like the day she says don't is the day I stop just because like obviously family they have to feel like they're the priority. So it's big for her just letting me do it. And my family, they like that I do it. They're big Packer fans. Like my dad will listen in and stuff. My sisters will listen in when I send it to them. Especially like when we have guests on and stuff, they'll tune in. But I think the biggest thing is just my wife being cool with it, because if she wasn't, I wouldn't be able to. Especially because there's some times where she is on like on Wednesday nights, because we record 7 Central, is like right as our son's Winston's going down to bed, and then she's also like entertaining Hadley while she's trying to put Winston down. So she does a lot for it. So yeah, she's the main MVP of that.
Is she a Packer fan?
So this is what I love her dearly, but we are extremely like, we always laugh about this because we're just very different people.
Yeah.
And so she's never been a football fan. Like she went to Ohio State for like 2 years. She's from Ohio. So like she was a Buckeyes fan when she was there. But besides that, just not really into sports. And I love when she tries to watch it with me. Cause like, she tries, like you can tell she's putting in an effort to be like, oh, I know what's going on. She doesn't, but then it's just entertaining to me too. But no, she's not a big sports fan. She's a hippy dippy, which I love. She just does her own thing.
You say she's a hippy dippy as you're wearing this like tie dye. I love that. So
he's rubbing off on me.
That's what it is. It's like everybody Aaron Rodgers ever dates. He kind of like takes on some of their personality traits. It's like that kind of a thing. So yeah, no, but having the support of your spouse in a situation like you're in, where you have all the stuff you're doing, that's so huge. Like I know that, especially because I used to play trombone in a lot of different like ensembles and stuff like that, and realized eventually that I had to put stuff aside because it was putting a strain on the relationship. And so like knowing that like where the line is, like you said, like if she says you got to stop, like you will, I think that's like exactly the right sort of mindset to have. Makes me think of a thing that John Meerding said, I think maybe on our show, actually, Don, I can't remember if it was on the show, if it was like one of his podcasts, just that like it's got to be family first and then football and anything else, because family is just the most important thing.
Right. Did you say you're also mixed martial arts fighter? Do you do that too?
Yeah, I did. Not so much anymore. Now that we moved away from Milwaukee, like when I go down, I'll visit. And I'll train and stuff. When you mentioned you had to get some I just got antibiotics like last week because I got a staph infection from that. Which it was my own fault. I cut my elbow and then just didn't clean it quick enough. I just kept practicing and then went to it. So it's my own fault. But I'll train when I go down there. I was supposed to have a fight. I had one at the end of 2020. I was supposed to have another one early in 2021, and then tore my ACL like a week before it. And then at that point, I'm 29. I have no goals in it. I was just doing it because I like it. And I've had enough concussions in my lifetime to where that was kind of one of the things where Des and I were talking. She was like, maybe let's stop doing this. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. I need to do something else. So yeah, but it's something I'll do occasionally when I'm down there, but not consistently anymore.
Yeah, I imagine you strike me as somebody who needs to have I'm the same way, some kind of physical outlet, exercise, or to let a lot of energy out. Is that kind of how you're built? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. Because like after this, I'm going to go, there's like a 24-hour gym.
Yeah.
Today's an off day, but I love sitting in the sauna, and I'm starting to make it like I sit in the sauna for 20 minutes and read, try to repair some of my brain cells I destroyed. So that's my thing after this.
Having a physical outlet to recover from all the time spent having Todd yell at you, I think is going to be an important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Physical therapy and emotional therapy. Yeah. 2 things I need because of Todd.
Yeah. So you mentioned you moved from Milwaukee. Are you born and raised in Wisconsin? So you're born a Packer fan?
Yeah, I was from Milwaukee. My wife and actually we did a stint in Georgia, a very short
Oh,
one,
wow.
and then we moved back up here.
Mhm.
And my parents, we're close to like Eau Claire, Wisconsin right now, kind of in the
Oh, okay.
middle west of Wisconsin, and hanging out at my parents' cabin that they have. But we've always, like when I was a kid, we'd always come up here. So it's pretty cool. Like now that I'm an adult to like live up here now, it's just a lot of memories and stuff when I was a kid and everything. And I get to do
Yeah.
that now with my kids. So it's been cool. But yeah, always been a Packer fan. I did have another team though. I was a huge Marshall Faulk fan when I was younger. So the Rams are always not when
Oh,
they moved to LA. I kind of just the way they did St. Louis was super
yeah.
shady. I'm not a
Yeah.
big LA fan in general. Like all the sports teams, I
Mhm.
like LeBron. He went to LA. I don't really want him to win anymore just because it's LA. But
Mhm.
the St. Louis Rams will always have a spot in my heart.
Aw. I think one of our first guests was from St. Louis, right, Maddie?
Yeah, Preston Odinson. No
Mhm.
longer on Twitter, but yeah, he was
Yeah.
he wrote about the Rams. He lived in St. Louis and was a Packers fan. That's right.
Yeah, and then there was that big lawsuit against them. They had to pay the city bajillions of dollars,
Mhm.
right, for doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah. All right. Well, so time to. Oh, and Aaron wants to know who's your favorite OBOT co-host?
Aaron, it has to be you. You're
It
in
has
this.
to
You're
be.
commenting. You don't yell at me as much.
Exactly.
So
That's true.
it has to be Aaron.
And she also said she really does hope
No.
that your family does not.
They do not. I gave them the disclaimer, guys. You will look at me differently. Do not listen to the show, and they have not.
That was wise.
It's not G-rated, is it?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let us. One more quiz. Our final question that we love to hear this. Before we get to our superlatives, we love to hear because everyone has a different answer, a different twist. Our beloved NFL and Packer Twitter online community. One thing you love the most, and one thing you would change if you could.
I think one thing I love the most is I'd say for the most part, I can't say 100%, but for the most part, it is really supportive of like people like doing stuff for it. Like, I'm gonna butcher his name, and I know I'm going to. Matt, you'll probably correct me.
If you want me to, I will.
From Ireland,
Dara.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Dare. I know that wasn't it, but Dara. Like someone like that. Like he's a young kid, and he just jumped right into it, doing it. Like he's with Packer Report now, does stuff with Game On. Like he's blowing up, and it's like super cool to see. So I think at least maybe it's probably people I interact with, because the crazy ones I try to stay away from are just like all super supportive, and which is what I love. And like I wouldn't have been on a show with you guys if it wasn't for like the Packers community or like any of that stuff. Like I met Aaron, who is just a thorn in my side now. Todd, who
in a good way.
Yeah, good way. No, Todd I love dearly, but like I wouldn't have met him if it wasn't for this. So there's a lot of cool, like you make really cool connections through it. And then the one thing I would change, I feel like this is with everyone, is just and I think it's every NFL team's community of just like, you got to chill out with these overreactions. Like, let's give it some time. Let's just, don't have to say the first thing that comes to mind, which is weird that I'm the one saying that, but it's like, you got to just like relax sometimes. It's not that serious.
Yeah, that's well put.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will point out the like toxic infighting and stuff that happens, and like I think that's definitely prevalent, but I think you hit the nail on the head for the thing for me, Jimmy. That's always like, man, like, come on. It's been like 3 games, it's been like 4 games, it's been like 2 games, like so little sample size and people are freaking out. It's like we have a whole lot of season left.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
And I know, but there's almost a quarter over.
That's just, it's so sad. We're already in week 5. We're in October. Like, football's gonna be over soon is like the thing that's just, it sucks.
It's awful.
You want to enjoy the ride, but there's that like,
there's so much
I feel like,
there's so much left, you guys. There's so much left.
No, it's like 4 months of the Sunday scaries of like, it's gonna be over soon, and you're like slowly preparing yourself for it.
Slowly preparing to have your heart ripped out of your chest again.
I'm ready to be hurt again. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, so I hear you brought some superlatives,
Yes, I
Jimmy, which is
did.
great. I'm so good. So let's start with you. What do you have for us? Are we
Yeah.
going to do round one volley one at a time, Maddie? Or
Uh, it's guest's choice tonight. Do you
okay.
want to do like each of us does one taking turns, or do you want to do all yours up front, or what do you think?
I'm cool taking turns.
Let's
You
do
don't
it.
have to hear me talk for too long then.
Okay.
Jimmy, I'd listen to you talk for hours and hours, man. Tell you what.
I appreciate that. I told my wife, I was like, I don't know how Matt listens to me so much because I've never listened to a show that I've done. I just don't like hearing my voice. I don't know what it is. Like the first time I heard it too, I was like, that's not how I sound. And then my wife listened to it. She's like, nope, that is. I was like, you married me. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about just how, acoustics and the body and stuff like that works, that we sound so different to everybody else.
Yeah.
It's almost like disassociative to hear your own voice. It's very strange, but Jimmy, you have a lovely voice and you always have very smart things to say. So
well, this first one's not that smart. It's more of a I did my first superlative. I did crankiest Aaron Rodgers fan, and that is Dan Kotnick, co-host of Lombardi's Bar. But he loves that Rodgers is our quarterback, but man, he will find the smallest thing to get upset about. I told him that too. I was like, dude, you gotta just appreciate it. We know Rodgers is quirky, but Rodgers could like step on a crack and he'll be so mad. Like, oh, the saying, break your mother's back. Like, chill out, dude.
Those are some of my favorite moments on Lombardi's Bars, where he's just like going off about like a nothing thing like that, and the comments are like lighting up to people like, "Is Dan having a stroke? What is it?" Like just everything.
He gets so mad.
He gets so mad, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I love it. Crankiest Aaron Rodgers fan.
He won't admit he's a fan though, so don't call him an Aaron Rodgers fan because he'll be like, "Oh, I'm not." He is though. He roots for him every Sunday.
Exactly.
Well, right. Yeah, of course. If he's a backer fan, he kind of has to be.
Yeah, he roots for him so hard that he is in London right now, in fact, to see the game. That's how much of a big Aaron Rodgers fan he is.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a fan. You're a fan, Dan. You're not. Okay, Maddie, what do you have for your first?
Sure. I will go next. So, excuse me, my first that I have two tonight is going to be most interesting. So, speaking of Dara, actually, he wrote an article for Packer Report that was what it means to be a Packers fan living in Europe. This was really fascinating to me because it's such a foreign experience, no pun intended, to imagine what it would be like to have to get up like early in the morning to watch a game, to stay up late, to like, drink a bunch of coffee or whatever like that, just to see the game. I mean, for us, it's on during the day when most of us have the day off. It's pretty easy to catch most of the games. So even if you have to like, not that I would do this, but even if you have to like catch like a legal streaming service to like, watch a game out of market, I would never do such a thing.
You wouldn't do it though. Yeah.
No, of course not. Never. Don't ask me, FBI. So, but the links they have to go to as, Packers fans in Europe, it's amazing. It's a lot. And so just this article is just Dara kind of talking through what that experience is like. And then of course made me really appreciate what a big deal this is for Packers fans, in the UK and throughout Europe, who can like, somehow hope to get to the game. Of course it's a little bit easier for closer or whatever, but really just made me appreciate like what a big deal this is for them. And I'm really excited for all those like wonderful European Packers fans that we know from online, like Dara and like Ash, who was on Lombardi's Bar this week, and just countless others as well.
That's right.
I might change my thing that I hope Packer Twitter changes, and it's just accepting London games in the future, because like that's an experience where like people complained about like, oh, they're taking a game from Lambeau, but like think of all these people that are fans over there that this is the first time in their life they're able to go to a game. Yeah. Like it's and a lot of them are like newer fans and they're so dedicated. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's really cool. Do you think they'll do London every year, or will they go into different cities then? Because
I know they did Munich this year too.
Yeah, there's Munich. Is it just those two?
They have done Mexico City in the past. So maybe that too in the future. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and you know, it is more important economically for the Packers because of the way they get their funds. You know,
Yeah.
they don't, to not give up that home game. But you know, but it's really cool that they're recognizing their fans in Europe too. That's just really got to feel super good. See, I pronounce it Jair because it rhymes with Jair.
It's definitely Dara.
I know you're correct. I'm just saying
You're
I
correct.
can't get it out of my head. So, my apologies. Is he going to the game? Do you know?
I believe he is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's in Ireland, right? So he's
Mhm.
fairly close. It's probably not going to be easy for any. I mean, unless you're right there in London. A lot of people are traveling at least a day to get there, even if they're, you know, in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, actually, in the
Cool.
article that I was referencing, he did talk about like what it's gonna like the logistics to get down to the game, what that's gonna look like. But obviously, much easier than going to the United States to you know to see the game. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
very cool for them. Don, what do you have for your first superlative?
My first superlative is the best tackle of the week. And this goes to the guy with the pink smoke at the Rams versus Packers. I mean, the Rams versus 49ers game.
That's a great one. That's a great
Oh,
one.
man. And if you missed it, we'll have a link for that, but I'm not going to destroy the experience. It was just delightful. Especially was delightful seeing, you know, so many people running after him to catch him, the players coming out there and tackling the guy just like like he was a football player. And then if you zoom out, you can see that there are like security guards laying on the field. There was carnage, human carnage, but he left in his wake. So yeah, it was just super funny and random, and I just love moments like that.
Was it actually a gender reveal thing? Like people were joking about it, but the pink smoke, I was wondering if maybe it was something like that.
Oh, that would be
Ridiculous.
that'd be. I mean, they're already over to like ridiculous. Starting, you know, a gender reveal party started one of the worst fires out here in San Diego County a few years ago. It's just
Yeah.
Oh,
awful.
jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, bajillions of dollars worth of, yeah. But no, what I heard, and it may have been gender reveal, but what I heard was that it had to do with calling attention to some animal rights. I can't remember what it was though, if it was testing animal, I can't remember.
Some trial involving pigs or something, Aaron says.
Oh, is Aaron on?
Yeah.
Trial involving pig. Okay.
So maybe pink for the pigs. I don't know. I think Aaron knows
Uh.
more about it than we do here right now. So
Because his t-shirt said, yeah, like it said like rights to something.com.
Yeah, something animal rights. Yeah,
man,
I should
animal
look it
rights
up.
activists are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People at the NBA games gluing their hands to the court and stuff this
Mhm.
past year.
Mhm.
Yeah. How did he get that pink thing in there though? Like, I feel like they should have
kept
detected
going.
that.
I mean, yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It was in his jacket or something. Did he freeze? Oh, you're not frozen. Okay. It was in his jacket. It was like a what do you call it? Like one of those things that make you fly.
So I was laughing because what Aaron said. Makes you fly like a propeller. What? I'm confused. Sorry.
Parachute.
A rocket booster type of thing that makes you fly.
Jetpack.
Jetpack. It's like a jetpack. That's what I was saying. It's like it's a jetpack, but why is it pink? But it just kept going and going. There was a
Yeah.
lot of pink smoke.
A lot of smoke.
It lasted a long time. Okay. All right. So what's your next one? Jimmy?
Yeah. I went with most impressive guest. And this one goes to She Said TV getting Goody on there. We're gonna have him on to do their Shameless Packer pod, that's an incredible get. I know they had like Matt LaFleur on and stuff before, but getting a NFL team's general manager, I think also gives hope to like other websites like Game On Wisconsin that isn't like a crazy big website, but to eventually get to that point, you're able to get top guys like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's an amazing get. I mean, you never see GMs on interview shows like that. So
Yeah.
actually I hadn't heard about that till you mentioned it here. I'm excited to see that.
I did
Yeah.
not hear about it either. That's fantastic.
Unless they're trolling me, but I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Somehow it's an elaborate bit that Todd's doing against you.
Yeah, it's like a parody Cheesehead TV account that I just fell for. Honestly, it's in the realm of possibility.
Anything's possible in this crazy world.
Crazy world.
Crazy world. Crazy Packer world. Okay, Maddie, what do you have for number
Yeah,
2?
so I have one more. And so this one is happiest surprise. So I was sitting down to lunch. I think it was Tuesday. And just as I was like getting ready, a notification came across on my phone that Dusty Evely was going live to talk about the importance of having somebody to throw to in the flat to control kind of what was happening in the defense. And I was like, this is great. I'm going to watch Dusty break down some film while I eat lunch today. And so, Dusty's been like doing a lot of like seemingly impromptu, like film breakdown, go live things. Hope he does more of them at lunchtime, because that'd be great. If you're listening, Dusty, if you happen to catch this, dude, man, put him on at lunch, because that's perfect. But it was typically excellent Dusty stuff, because he's talking about how when you have somebody over in the flat who you could potentially throw to a threat over there, it's going to bring down one of the safeties, which is going to open up like the back part of the field more. And just the way how Dusty, will demonstrate the thing with a couple of different film clips, and like, has gotten just so good at like circling the stuff to show it and like, demonstrate the thing. Typically excellent Dusty stuff, and just a perfect way to like kick off a lunch break.
I love it.
He's so good.
He's so good. I think I caught it, but I couldn't even keep my eyes open yesterday. So I didn't. Was it like yesterday or Tuesday? Tuesday.
I think it was Tuesday.
It was a couple days. I literally slept for like almost 3 days straight. So I know, but I miss out on so much when I get sick. I hate it. I don't mind I mind missing out on things more than anything. Okay, so my next one is, and Dan's gonna love this now. I did not realize this is most cringe, and it's just Aaron Rodgers' hair in general. Like, I'm done with it.
It's so bad.
It's
when it's clean, like after the game and he comes out, like it looks kind of cool, but like when he puts his hat on and it's like a penguin.
And sometimes it's coming out here.
Yeah.
So
bad.
It's the hat. It ruins it for him.
Yes.
It's not just the hat, though. I want to just say in general, gentlemen, the whole shaving most of your head and just having the style, I'm over it. It's just, it doesn't work. Like for those reasons, like when you put on a cap or whatever, and it's just so military looking, to have that shaved head. I don't know. Gives me the creepy vibe.
Rodgers does give a little creepiness off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think he does that on purpose. My sister kept saying, "Oh God, I wish he'd cut his hair. I wish he'd cut his hair." I'm like, "Well, see, now this is what you get for wishing he cut his hair." I didn't mind his long hair, and I don't mind man buns, really. But the shaved part is just kind of, and then it kind of reminds me of a comb over kind of situation. But only to the back. Yeah. Really, those really make me gag. They really do. I don't know why.
That's hilarious.
So there you have it. Most cringe.
I think it comes across very like Peaky Blinders, which I think is kind of cool.
Yes.
But like, I'm into that kind of thing, but it does look so bad with a hat on. It's just, there's got to be a way to do it. Cause on Peaky Blinders, they're wearing hats all the times. They're wearing their freaking Peaky hats, So there's got to be a way to like do it.
Yeah.
So put the hair to the side or something. I don't know
do
exactly.
Something.
Right. There's got to be a way. Somebody's got to show them the right way to do it.
He could put little pigtails or something like here.
There you go.
That's the answer.
Barrettes. Yeah, from the back. Aaron Alice agrees. From the back, it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It pretty much is pretty awful. Okay, so we have 2 more. Jimmy and I. Jimmy, your last one.
Yeah, so I was gonna put on there. I did type this and deleted it. I was gonna oh gosh, Todd's on here. This is perfect timing. I was gonna put ugliest Tinder profile, and I was gonna put Todd. But I changed my mind, and I did craziest workhorse. And that's Robin Adams. He
Nice.
just put out, he mentioned on Twitter, I don't know how many days ago now, it all runs together.
Me and Robin just rubbing
yeah,
together.
me and Robin just rubbing together all the time. He published like his 1400th article on Wisconsin sports heroics. I don't know if that's all him. That'd be absolutely insane if it was. But just the work he does for that website, it's crazy. And I know Aaron disses him so much. So I feel like one of us three out of Aaron, Todd, and myself have to compliment him. So Robin, you're doing a lot of great work.
Yeah, and I second that. I saw that too. I second that, Robin. We actually love you, and so if they're dissing you, it's because they're either jealous or they really actually love you, one or the other.
Oh, it's
No, Aaron's
love.
just super jealous.
Okay, let's see. And the last superlative, let's see what I have. Oh, this is perfect because Jimmy's here and Todd's here in the comments. Most delightful Packer bar.
Yeah.
Ooh, throw it down.
In North County, San Diego. It's the Roxy Encinitas. So the Roxy, I'm just going to say briefly, for those of you who've been following the show, you know I wasn't a Packer fan my whole life. And it's fairly recent, last decade or so. But the Roxy, I've been a fan of ever since I've lived here. And they have like this great, it's called the artichoker. It's an artichoke sandwich. And they're kind of like, they have this 1920s vibe now. And they used to have ice cream. So I remember one of the first times I went there was to bring my little niece. She was 8 years old, visiting me here for the first time. We went and got ice cream there. A lot of fond memories at the Roxy. I did not know it was a Packer bar. I thought I had to go to San Diego to go to a Packer bar. And I remembered kind of at the last minute that, oh yeah, that's right. They're actually listed on the Packers Everywhere app as a Packer, like an official Packers bar. And I remembered that, and I wanted to go to the game somewhere on Sunday just to try it out, see, now I'm on antibiotics. I probably shouldn't have gone. But no, I was already not feeling well, great. But it was such a the first half hour I was in there, I just kept, like, my mouth was open and I just kept saying, I'm in a Packers bar. I mean, there was Packers, everything, everywhere. And people were wearing Packers jerseys, and there was green and gold necklace, like the beads, that they put out on all the tables. And there were just a whole bunch of screens, and it was all the Packer game. And they had a DJ, so you didn't have to listen to the commercials. They played really good music, and everyone was happy. It was like a good dream.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, you can't beat a good Packer bar.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, I never knew. So there you go. So that's my little unofficial nomination for Packer Bar in North County, San Diego.
Well, the voting has started, in fact, for the voting for the second best Packers bar in America on Game Wisconsin. So, of course, because Max is the best, so we have to now, the competition is now see who is the next best one after that.
Oh, I didn't know the voting started already.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Dawn, did you actually get a nomination in for them or not? Maybe not.
I will do that right away. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah. I cannot wait to find out where we're going this year. Max was so fun last year. This year, I know it's gonna be fun again. I one of Dan's good ideas. I'll let him know that was a great idea.
Poor Dan.
Dan does have good ideas, actually. I got to give him credit where it's due on that.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Okay, I'm probably late on this comment, but Aaron has something to say.
I think that's because of saying that Aaron was jealous of Robin. That's what it was.
Yeah. Of course. All right. There we go.
Best Packers bar in America. Aaron, I would stuff the voting box for your house to be to win that competition for sure.
I'd go. But no, she says with just me, so I don't know. I guess we're not invited.
It's gonna be torturing. Is what it's gonna be. So Todd, I'm gonna be running a 10K at the place. That's what's gonna yeah. This no drinking thing is not. I have to be sober for
Yeah, tell us the story,
So-
Jimmy. How come you have to be sober? What's the story with that?
I lost a bet to Todd, and the
Oh.
punishment originally was to get his name tattooed on my butt, which I did not care. I already have a butt tattoo on the other cheek.
Mhm.
It'd be symmetrical then. But my wife, because my other butt tattoo was because of a bet, she was like, no, we've had this conversation before. I don't want you to give me another butt tattoo. And therefore my counter punishment is 6 months of sobriety. So
Oh,
here
and
I
so
am.
that's going to fall in that when you're traveling to the best Packer bar, at least the best Packer bar in Southern California.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yep. I'll have to make another trip out there when I can actually indulge in the festivities.
There you
But
go. That's right.
So what is a 10K? What's the relevance of the
well,
10K?
apparently Todd told me I had a third out, which I totally forgot.
Oh.
Of I would have to run a 10K in all Vikings gear, which honestly, I think that'd be kind of fun to do it at the Lambeau when they have the race at Lambeau, because that's like the ideal spot to do it in Vikings gear. So we'll see. Des wants me to do the 6 months sober because she said it's a bigger punishment for me. So she's still mad about the whole agreeing to a butt tattoo thing.
Yeah, that's something probably you'd want to consult your wife about.
Pretty much. And the fact that you back down from that bet, I think is a good example of like the family first thing, putting the input of your wife ahead of other things. But I also want to say, I think that, Todd offering you the out of doing a 10K is another good example of why Todd is a role model. He's trying to give you like the chance to do some physical fitness, some
That's right.
self-improvement, that's just good for your health. So
I do have to say he was very, in all seriousness, he was very nice letting me have an out on this, because if he wouldn't have, I probably, knowing me, would have gotten the tattoo and just had a few weeks of the doghouse. So
yeah,
it was very nice of him to let me have an out, because knowing me, I would have just went with the tattoo.
the man's a gentleman. So what can you say?
Well, I would do a 10K with you when you come here, but I would not do it in any gear. But we could accommodate you, but you'd have to you could do it on the beach in Vikings gear.
There you go.
That'd be kind of hot though. Like, how much stuff do you have to wear? Like just a jersey or a helmet?
Crop top.
Great questions. If I could wear a Vikings crop top, I would do that for sure.
Oh, there you go. Well, did he specify?
Yeah, he's talking a different Todd, I think. I honestly don't remember honestly, I don't even remember this whole 10K conversation, because it was also during the time I was able to drink. So I put that, because of that, I don't remember what the stipulations were.
Well, that's
there
too
it
bad,
is.
because he's
Helmet,
changing
shoulder
the rules
pads,
on you
jersey,
now.
pants.
Helmet,
Actually,
shoulder
no,
pads.
I think we did talk about. Yeah, we did talk about that.
You said something about full gear, so yeah.
Mm.
That would be hot. You're right. I mean,
it makes it less enjoyable.
Like it'd be physically hot to do, I think. I mean, if it weren't Viking stuff, it might be hot too, but
and I'd have to pay to get all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, gross. Don't support that organization.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have it. I'll be sober for another 5 months.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right. Might keep you from making stupid bets too. So
I know.
Right.
I know. It hurts the Wisconsin in me though, because like it's not what you're supposed to do here. No, it's been good. It's been good actually. I don't mind it as much as I thought I would.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm gonna drink again in 5 months, but this break from it's really nice.
All right. Well, hey, let's wrap it up. It doesn't look like we're missing much of a game.
Oh yeah, there's a game out tonight. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think there was another field goal or something.
I think they forgot about it too, actually. So yeah, before I get into the sort of like closing script here, I just want to say, Jimmy, thanks so much for joining us, man. It's been far too long that we waited to have you on, especially because you've been one of my favorite people I've met through Twitter, just hands down. You're so friendly, and have just been such a kind person to me, like the whole time I've ever interacted with you. So I just want to say, man, love you. Really happy to have you.
I love you too, man. No, seriously, I've said this to you before. You're one of my favorite people I've met through Twitter. it's been the support you give me, and unfortunately Todd and Aaron as well, is like it's honestly, it's really appreciated. Can't really put into words too much, but the support you give us is awesome. Does not go unnoticed. And I was pumped you guys asked me to be on. I was super pumped. So yeah, anytime you guys for some reason want me back on, let me know. I'd love to hop on. It'll be a blast.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. So glad you were
right.
here, and for that second invitation to come back. That's awesome.
All right. Well, friends, make sure you're following Jimmy on Twitter. That's Jimmy_C08. So, Jimmy JIMMY, like you'd expect, Jimmy_C08. And of course, you'll find links in our show description for everyone we mentioned. So please check it out. Whether you're a super fan or content creator, we'd love to have a chance to interview you. So if you're a subscriber, our DMs are open at Hey Willip on all the social platforms. We'd love to hear from you or someone you'd like to nominate to be a guest on our podcast this year. That's right. If you want to be a guest on our podcast, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. Because we love you. We're so happy to be fans of you and to be fans of to have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate your support, your subscription, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like Aaron. We like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.